more people have gone missing this week. I am the best ogre hunter in the kingdom. It's time.
Villagers, there's an ogre in the swamp near the moderate Gothic. Every night, people go missing in these woods. No trace, no witnesses. He picks a stone from freshly cleaned.
In 2025, one of the most unexpected yet fascinating projects to emerge from the world of cinema is a chilling reimagining of a character beloved across generations. This film dares to take the lighthearted humor of a green ogre who once charmed families and twist it into something far darker, more sinister, and truly unforgettable. Instead of the playful swamp-dwelling hero, the new story transforms him into a nightmare born from folklore and terror. With an all-star cast led by Pedro Pascal, the project instantly drew attention for being unlike anything fans had anticipated. Rather than parody, comedy, or fairy tale magic, this new Shrek is a psychological horror that mixes myth, dread, and Gothic atmosphere into a tale that lingers long after the final scene fades. The project begins with its premise. The swamp is no longer a whimsical home, but a cursed land, thick with fog, strange noises, and shadows that seem alive. Villagers whisper stories of a monstrous figure who dwells there, a green-skinned creature with eyes glowing faintly in the dark, feeding not only on fear, but on the essence of those who dare to cross his domain. What once was a fairy tale now becomes a warning told around campfires, a grim reminder that not all creatures want to be understood. This haunting new setting shifts the entire mood, giving audiences a new reason to fear the swamp. Casting Pedro Pascal as the tormented hero, a wandering knight who stumbles into this haunted land, was a brilliant choice. Known for his ability to portray resilience mixed with vulnerability, Pascal embodies a character who is neither fully fearless nor entirely broken. His role is to investigate strange disappearances near the swamp, uncovering ancient curses and the truth behind the green terror that stalks the land. Alongside him is Anya Taylor-Joy, who portrays a mysterious woman tied to the folklore, whose connection to the monster is deeper than she initially reveals. Supporting them are Willem Dafoe as a deranged priest convinced the ogre is a manifestation of sin, and Jenna Ortega as a village survivor who guides Pascal's character through the nightmare. This ensemble provides the perfect mix of gravitas and raw intensity to ground the horror in genuine emotion. The transformation of Shrek himself into a figure of horror is central to the story. No longer a comical ogre with exaggerated features, he is instead reimagined as something far more grotesque, blending humanoid shape with uncanny deformities. His movements are unsettlingly quiet for such a massive creature, and his voice, when it emerges, is low, guttural, and distorted by rage and grief. Practical effects and prosthetics bring him to life, paired with subtle CGI enhancements that emphasize his monstrous qualities without losing the raw physicality of the actor under the mask. The result is a creature that feels terrifyingly real, capable of evoking both pity and revulsion. The plot unfolds like a Gothic horror fable. Pedro Pascal's knight, haunted by his own past failures, arrives in a remote village where people have been vanishing near the marshes. At first, the villagers refuse to speak openly, muttering prayers and locking their doors at night. But eventually, he learns of the legend. A cursed ogre bound to the swamp, born of betrayal and fueled by centuries of rage. Some say he was once human, others claim he is a demon, but all agree he cannot be destroyed by ordinary means. As Pascal's character ventures into the swamp, guided by Jenna Ortega's survivor, the truth begins to unravel in horrific ways. As the knight delves deeper, he discovers remnants of a castle half swallowed by vines, its walls stained with old blood. Within, murals and carvings hint at a tragic history, a love lost, a betrayal by those he trusted, and a transformation that turned man into monster. The more Pascal learns, the clearer it becomes that the ogre is not simply a beast, but a soul trapped between worlds, consumed by vengeance. Anya Taylor-Joy's character enters here, revealing her lineage is tied to the curse itself, her ancestors being the ones who betrayed him. She holds the key to either freeing him or sealing his torment forever, but her motives remain clouded, forcing the knight to question whether she seeks redemption or destruction. What sets this film apart is its atmosphere. The swamp is alive with constant dread, trees that seem to bend and watch, water that ripples without cause, and whispers that echo through the fog. The cinematography uses muted greens, deep shadows, and sudden bursts of firelight to create contrast between safety and danger. Sound design plays a massive role too. Audiences hear distant wails, bone-cracking footsteps, and the guttural breaths of the monster before he ever emerges. Every encounter is staged with slow-building tension, leading to explosive moments of horror. The violence in the film is raw and unnerving. Rather than over-the-top gore, the filmmakers focus on psychological terror, using glimpses of brutality to shock without numbing. Victims are found torn apart, dragged into the swamp's depths, or left hanging from twisted branches as warnings. The creature is shown not just as a killer, but as a sadistic tormentor who enjoys the fear of those who enter his domain. Yet in rare moments, audiences glimpse something human in his eyes, remnants of pain and loss that complicate his monstrosity. This duality makes him both horrifying and tragic, adding depth beyond a simple villain. As the story builds toward its climax, Pascal's knight becomes increasingly tormented by visions. He dreams of the ogre not as a monster, but as a mirror of himself, haunted, broken, and dangerous. The swamp begins to blur the line between reality and hallucination, making it impossible to know if the knight is descending into madness or uncovering truths hidden by the curse. This psychological aspect elevates the horror, turning it into a layered exploration of guilt, fear, and humanity's darker impulses. The final act is a relentless descent into terror. The knight, Anya Taylor-Joy's mysterious woman, and Jenna Ortega's survivor enter the heart of the swamp to confront the monster directly. They descend into caverns beneath the marsh, where the walls are lined with bones and the air is thick with decay. Here, the truth is revealed. The ogre's curse can only be broken if he is willingly released from his rage, but doing so would require confronting the betrayal that birthed him. Willem Dafoe's priest, now fully unhinged, believes the only way to save humanity is to kill everyone tied to the curse, even if it means sacrificing innocence. The confrontation explodes into chaos, as alliances fracture and the swamp itself seems to collapse around them. The climactic battle is both physical and emotional. The ogre, in his most terrifying form, emerges from the darkness, his roars shaking the earth. Pascal's knight, armed with a cursed blade, confronts him in a fight that is as much about survival as it is about forgiveness. Anya Taylor-Joy's character reveals her own tragic role in the cycle of violence, and Jenna Ortega embodies resilience as she refuses to let fear consume her. The final moments are ambiguous. The swamp burns, the ogre howls in pain, and the knight faces a choice that will either free the monster's soul or bind it forever. The screen fades to black before the full consequences are revealed, leaving audiences questioning what victory truly means. The release date for this haunting reinvention is set for October 2025, perfectly timed for the Halloween season. The marketing leans into its shocking premise, a beloved character reimagined as pure nightmare fuel. Teaser posters depict only a silhouette in the mist, with glowing eyes and the tagline, "Stay out of the swamp." The anticipation has grown immense, with horror fans eager for something bold and fresh, while longtime Shrek enthusiasts are both curious and terrified at the prospect of seeing their childhood icon turned into a monster. The trailer itself delivers everything fans of horror could hope for. It begins with quiet shots of the swamp at dawn, mist curling around twisted trees, as Pedro Pascal's voice narrates the legend of the cursed land. The music starts softly, almost mournful, before shifting into discordant strings as the camera lingers on abandoned cabins, broken wagons, and claw marks gouged into stone. Quick flashes show Anya Taylor-Joy staring into the fog, Willem Dafoe screaming scripture at a shadow, and Jenna Ortega clutching a lantern as something enormous moves behind her. The trailer escalates, showing only glimpses of the ogre, massive footprints, a silhouette in the fog, a close-up of glowing eyes. The final shot is the most chilling, Pascal turning toward the camera, only for a massive green hand to emerge from the shadows and drag him into the darkness. The screen cuts to black with a guttural roar, followed by the title, S.A. Charike. By reimagining a cultural icon through the lens of horror, this film dares to ask how myths evolve and how fear can twist even the most familiar stories. With its powerful cast, chilling visuals, and layered storytelling, it promises to be more than just a novelty. It will be a nightmare that redefines what audiences thought they knew about the swamp, the ogre, and the price of legends. October 2025 marks the beginning of a new era for horror, one where fairy tales no longer end happily ever after, but instead in screams that echo through the night.